Slide detected.
Knuckles the Echidna, the punchy guy, the guy who threw hands with Sonic. Oh, look, keep punching. Oh, Knuckles is probably one of the most well-balanced characters out of all of the survivors in the game, and that may seem very debatable to some of you, considering that one of his passives allows him to stun the killer for longer. But I mean, through his general kit, you can see that he's pretty counterable and also pretty strong when played correctly and when played correctly against. So I debatably think that he's one of the most well-balanced out of all of the survivors. He's the most punishing and also the most rewarding out of all of them, at least from my general view of him. Now, let's get into both of his passives. He has a glide, which allows him to jump onto a wall, and then he can jump off of it to start gliding. He basically just clips onto a wall and then he can start gliding when he jumps off of it. Similar to like Kareem's glide or Tails' glide, except he can't ascend, and he'll start gliding for about 4 seconds, so it's not that long. I think it's a pretty cool ability and a cool passive, right? It's a cool little perk that he has. I like it a lot, but this can be more of a con than it is a pro due to the fact of, you know, chases. Because if you're getting chased by the Executioner and you miss a jump and start clipping onto a wall, then that could get you to end up being attacked. It'll make you vulnerable to the Executioner, meaning that they can get free hits off of you, which really sucks. Because from my knowledge, you can't use any of your abilities whilst you're clipping onto a wall, meaning you can't really defend yourself, which is super annoying considering that most maps have a lot of walls that you need to jump on, meaning that if you jump onto a wall unintentionally, you are pretty much just gonna get a free hit taken off of you, which is a huge chunk of health. But in a general sense, it's not that bad. It's mostly used for mobility, which is perfectly fine. It's not the best in the world, and again, it feels more like a con than it is a pro, but maybe it'll be changed in the future, who knows. And then he has Unstoppable, which allows him to prolong stuns for longer, which basically what I mean by that is if a Executioner has already been stunned by an Amy, a Tails, or a Metal Sonic, you can use your stunning ability to also prolong the stun, which means that you can hit them whilst they're stunned, which is absolutely insane. You can prolong the stun for as long as your stun allows you to, basically adding on to that stun timer, which is insane. It makes it so funny to just watch the Executioner get stack stunned. It is insanely funny. Now for his punch, which is one of the abilities that I think is extremely funny. His punch allows him to press the keybind and then charge up his punch. You only have to press it once, you don't have to hold it, just keep that in mind. Then, if you wish, you can press the keybind again to cancel it, which will give you a shorter cooldown because you canceled the punch. And once you're holding it, right, you're charging the punch up, it can go up to 2 phases, or if you want, you can just press the left mouse button to throw the punch immediately, if you choose to. But if you choose to hold up the punch, you'll have 2 separate phases that you can hit, which one of them increases your stun time, which is the second phase, which will make your Knuckles blink red. That increases the stun time from 3 seconds to 5 seconds, which is absolutely insane. Just like the sheer grasp of it. Like 5-second stun, holy hell. That's like a Metal Sonic stun, man. That's insane. And then you can go up to the third phase, which is causing your fists to come on fire. And now when you hit the EXE, it'll set them on fire. But from the unofficial wiki, it says that they're purely cosmetics, so it doesn't really change anything. I mean, there hasn't been enough testing, I guess, to experiment if this is actually the case or not. But if that is the case, that kind of sucks. I mean, it's cool, but it's just kind of a letdown that it doesn't really do anything, rather than just. It's cosmetic. Oh man, he's on fire. That's it. It almost makes it feel kind of useless to hit this phase, but I mean, setting him on fire is cool. That's what matters. It's cool. This is very good to pair with like another player's stun. So like if the Executioner gets stunned once and you have the distance, you can charge up your punch, then hit second phase, and then stun the killer whilst they're already stunned to prolong the stun even longer to 5 seconds, which is insane how many stuns you can hit off. That's what makes Executioner gameplay so bad. Like, the amount of times they can get stunned is absurd. It's honestly just dumb. But I love Knuckles for that. It's an extremely fun ability, and it's very rewarding to hit it off if you do connect it. I like that a lot. The best way to use this punch is mostly just like waiting behind walls or something like that, or just being in like the middle areas so that way the EXE can go towards you instead of going towards your teammates, so that way you can hit your punch and defend your teammates more efficiently, or again, waiting behind a wall, watching as your teammate goes by whilst you're being chased by the Executioner, and then when they pass by, the Executioner passes by, then you can hit their punch to get them off of the survivor that was being chased, which is very good, very efficient gameplay, and that's how you play Knuckles. It's really not that hard to hit the punch, but it can be pretty easy to dodge if you're going up against a competent Executioner, because like you can literally see it charging up. Like, how could you not dodge that? Either that, or you can just press Scratch, Trickery, or Invisibility to dodge it like nothing, which I think is extremely funny. Then Knuckles has his counter, which makes him stand in place, and then he'll blink a white outline, which basically means his counter is active, and it'll last for about 3 seconds and then start to fade away, which is very noticeable. So when you're using this counter, you have to make sure that the Executioner is right on top of you rather than being a slight distance, because if they miss their M1 or they just see it from a far distance, then they're going to just wait, which means it can be very punishing. But the second that it ends, you can just run away, but even then, you're still going to get hit. When the Executioner does hit you while you're countering, then it'll stun them for a couple of seconds, about 2 seconds, and then it'll ragdoll them, which I think is extremely funny, especially on Not Perfect, because you can end up ragdolling them off the map, which is, again, just another way as to why Not Perfect is such a good map. Boy, do I love playing on that map. So much fun. It's really not that hard to hit this counter. You can always just wait for the Executioner's audio cue, where they'll make a noise just slightly before they hit their attack, and then you can counter perfectly, the exact same way you would counter as Eggman. That's how I've learned to play it, just by paying attention to audio cues, which is also why I play with my music off. Don't judge me, alright? It's not that I don't like the music, it's just that it makes it much easier to play the game. But yeah, that's all I can really say for Knuckles. I don't think he's at all broken. I don't think he's absurdly strong. He is very punishing if you fail your abilities, or if you just get counterplayed very easily, because it's really not that hard to play against him. He's very easy to dodge and very easy to predict if you play correctly, especially considering that most Knuckles players play the exact same. But I don't think he's broken at all. I think he's very balanced. I think compared to every other survivor in the game, he's the most balanced. He's not too broken and he's not too weak. He's very, very good. I like the state that he's currently in. I don't think he needs to be touched at all. He's perfectly fine. The only tiny thing that I would say needs to be changed a little bit is maybe the glide. That's pretty much it. Just the wall glide. Because when you glide onto a wall, right, when you jump onto a wall, it'll put you in that little wall glide state, which can be very punishing because you could do it on accident and then just get hit for literally no reason, which really sucks. That's pretty much all I can say about Knuckles. But yeah, he's fun. Go play him. Yeah.